Hello friends, today is Tuesday, the 27th November 2018. Let's begin. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Today we will see stanza number 21, which is the summary of the fine material sphere consciousness. Fine material sphere consciousness is, let's see, stanza number 21. So the stanza goes like this. Panchada jhana bedena Rupavachara manasam punya bhaga kriya beda tam panchada sada bhave. Let me repeat. Panchada jhana bedena Rupavachara manasam punya bhaga kriya beda tam dasada bhave. So let's go to the subject. So here it is the pancha dasada, not panchada sada, it is wrong. Pancha dasada, which means it is 15, pancha is 5 and dasada is 10. So dasa is 10, dasada is 15 in number. So let's go to the subject now. So we have seen in the last lecture about all the jhanas, all the 5 jhanas, the fine material jhanas, and this is the 5th jhana. For example, in the 5th jhana you have the upekkha, equanimity, and balanced with as the partner it takes the one-pointedness. Okay, so all the 5 jhanas, or all the jhanas especially, not only these 5 jhanas, all the jhanas sahetuka and with roots, and the root is a good root, is 3 good roots here. Good rooted chittas in the jhana chittas. So jhana chittas have 3 good roots of non-greed or generosity, non-hatred or loving kindness, or non-delusion or wisdom. So bad roots or the roots of greed, roots of hatred, and roots of delusion. So it's the opposite of these roots. So just we have seen the roots behind the 5 jhanas. So let's move on. So when we see the jhana, all the jhanas are associated with knowledge. So you can see the knowledge is there. Jnana is knowledge. So all the jhanas, when you go to jhana, you will certainly will be able to see some type of, get some kinds of knowledge. So let us see here. So there are actually so the jhanas are associated with knowledge, and along with that, what we are going to see here, what we see in this picture is on the bottom, we have this jhana chitta, jhanas, all types of jhanas, which belong to some kind of world or lokiya. Lokiya it means pertaining to the worlds, the 31 planes of existences, that was explained by the Buddha, which are called as mundane attainments. Mundane means which pertains to some kinds of worlds. So here I have represented it with different kinds of worlds. So, and these jhanas, generally the 5 jhanas, pertain to these to the fine material sphere. Up to here, what we have seen belongs to the fine material sphere. But after this lecture, we will see other types of jhanas. So, and then the mundane. There in the attainments, there are 2 types of attainments: the mundane attainments, and then the supra-mundane attainments. Supra-mundane is called lokuttara. Uttara means beyond. Lokuttara. Loka means world, beyond the world attainments, and world attainments. So the world attainments, what it does is when you attain the mundane jhanas, you will be if you don't if your jhana, the power of getting jhana doesn't fade away when you die. When you die, you will be born in other worlds, like the godly worlds. And then the lokuttara is beyond the worldly things, or 2 in number. So the meditative attainments beyond the worlds are 2 in number. One is called the path, and the others are fruition. And these are also jhanas. These are also actually jhanas, which we will see in the supramundane consciousnesses. So these path and fruition can be any of the jhanas, first, second, third, fourth, or fifth jhana. It can be any type of jhanas here. So in the supramundane attainments, and then the path and fruition we will see in the future lectures in the first chapter itself. And it should be noted that all types of attainments, whether it be the mundane attainments, lokiya jhanas, or the supramundane attainments, or which is called as lokuttara or lokuttara jhanas, is also, you can also call it as the lokuttara jhanas, which belong to path consciousnesses, or the path jhana consciousnesses, as we can say, or the fruition jhana consciousnesses. All of them are associated with knowledge. You will get some kind of knowledge because it directly touches with the reality. So let's move on. And for the supramundane, I have used this kind of the spaceship or the rocket, and for mundane attainments I have used the worlds. And this is the symbol, the cracker symbol I use for the fine material sphere worlds. So okay, now moving on. There are commentaries for the main Abhdhamma, and what we see here in this lecture, these lectures, what I make is not the main Abhdhamma. It is one of the commentaries by Acharya Anuruddha. So there is the commentary book called Vibhavini Tika. So in the Vibhavini Tika, what they say about jhana is that the jhana there is a problem with the jhana. The commentators or the some meditators have some kind of different view which pertaining to the jhana attainments, pertaining to preliminary, is called as preliminary exertion or preparation for jhana. For example, as we can see here, all the meditative attainments are unprompted. What I mean to express here, or the commentators who support this, saying that it is unprompted. Unprompted means when you sit in meditation, it just comes up. When your mind is ripe enough, it just comes up. So there is no need to try to struggle for jhanas or make a strenuous preparation for jhanas to occur. It just comes as your mind gets purer and purer. You just keep getting jhanas even in the normal life. For example, what Buddha told in one of the suttas is that for the question that was asked, the question was, Lord Buddha, whom you consider as a great man? So this is the question. So the Buddha answers thus, the Buddha considers a person as a great man if he or she is able to get the jhana attainment as and when wanted, whenever they want. For example, if a person wants to get the 5th jhana, then within few minutes he or she should be able to get it, and then should be able to come out of it whenever they want. And then there are meditators who before entering jhana fix up the time. For example, I will be there in 4th jhana for 3 days, for example, and then make the determination and then enter the 4th jhana, and then after 3 days they just come out of the 4th jhana automatically. So there is no sort of there's no need to keep the time, the outside clock or the time outside. It just happens. So personally, I believe that the meditative attainments are unprompted. So what unprompted means, there's no need to struggle too much for the jhanas or the path or fruition. It just comes by depending on the condition of your mind or the purity of your mind. For example, the jhanas I got were unprompted, and I didn't struggle too much to get the jhanas. So I naturally believe that it is unprompted. But for people who are having difficulty to attain jhanas, meditative attainments like jhanas, might think that it should be prompted, or it should have a preliminary work or struggle for it to attain the jhana. Something like here we can see in Vibhavini, in the Vibhavini Tika, the commentary book of Vibhavini Tika. So it says there is a preliminary exertion which acts as a preparation for the jhana attainments. So what it says is, without the preliminary exertion there is no jhana. But this is in a way correct, but at the same time we cannot confirm it, so we cannot in a very strong manner support it. So what they consider as preliminary exertion might be the time taken, or the time taken for the mind to achieve a jhana, to go to a jhana by sitting in meditation, or by hearing the words of the Buddha or something like that. So, and I also have to say that just by hearing the words of the Buddha through somebody, or sometimes even by reading, it is possible to attain jhana. I do believe that. Let's move on to the next book. The next commentary is called the Dhammasangani, which is also a commentary book supporting the Abhdhamma or the Tripitaka. So, in the Dhammasangani, what it is told is the jhanas. One gets to jhana in the order of arrangements, or the patipada. Patipada means the stepwise, the first jhana, and then the second jhana, and then the third jhana, and then the fourth jhana, and then the fifth jhana. So the patipada, which means the order of arrangement or the stepwise arrangement, which I think is correct in a way, but I do think that after the first time one is able to get to the any jhana as and when one wants, if the mind is pure enough, or the jhana factors come by in a correct manner. So, and also the Dhammasangani says that there are two types of patipadas. The order of one is the dukkha patipada, and then the sukha patipada. Dukkha patipada, or these meditators on the left side, the dukkha patipada, those who take the get to jhanas by, of course, the patipada, stepwise jhana attainments in a dukkha way, in a very struggling or in a very difficult manner, is called as the dukkha patipada. But those people who just get it very easily, because they might have practiced jhanas in the previous lives, so so attaining jhanas might be easier, and also the mind might be much purer, and the karmas might also in a way help to get to jhanas easily. So the sukha patipada, for example, when you consider me, the way is sukha patipada. The first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana, and fifth jhana I was able to get in very easily, but I was not able to ascertain the time. For example, I didn't know. I couldn't know when I got the after I got the fourth jhana or the third jhana, I knew it, but my mind is not pure enough or ready enough to say the time. For example, in 1 hour I will get the say the fourth jhana. So something like that. I was not able to do that, but it just comes by. So that is why I call it as unprompted. I support the theory which says all meditative attainments are unprompted. It just comes by. We cannot struggle too much. So for getting it, and one more reason I can say from the Buddha himself is when the Buddha was struggling too much by extremes of meditation, extremes of austerities, and without eating, without sleeping, and just meditating in the open sky, in the open sun, or extremes of difficulties he faced, but nothing ever happened. He didn't get anything. But when he practiced the middle way, and he abolished the two extremes of the too muchness and the too lessness, or the nothingness, so something like that. So the middle way of eating once a day or something like that. So automatically his mind was ready to was able to get to jhanas, and thereby get to the path attainments and the fruition attainments. So I personally and strongly believe that all meditative attainments, including jhanas, the path attainment or the fruition attainments, are unprompted by nature. This is Dhamma Sangani. So let's now, we have come to the end of this, going to finish the lecture. So let's see the meaning. So the summary of the fine material sphere. Fine material sphere is the Rupa Vachara. Rupa Vachara is the fine material sphere. So the fine material, we have seen about it. So the Panchada Jhana Vedena is the differentiation of jhanas in five ways, 5 parts, or the 5 in fives, differentiating the jhanas in fives of the Rupa Vachara, fine material sphere. Manasam means the mind, or the intention, or the intention or the mind of the Rupa Vachara. So Rupa is what they say here is the Chitta only. Chitta or Manasam is all the same thing. Is the Chitta, the Manasam is a stage of Chitta. We have seen it before. So the mind of the fine material sphere, Rupa Vachara mind, has the 5 types of jhana differentiation, so which belong to the punya, or which is the wholesome consciousness. Bhaga is the resultant consciousness. Kriya is the functional consciousnesses, which are experienced by 3 types of beings. Let me clarify these 3 types of beings, please. Yeah, so the 3 types of beings is, let's move it there. Yes. Okay, let's move it to. So here the 3 types of beings, or one is the self-enlightened Buddha, or the Samma Sambuddhas, and the solitary Buddhas, the Pacceka Buddhas, and the Arahants. These 3 beings, experience the Kriya, is the Kriya Chittas of the jhanas, means the functional jhana chittas, which do not have any residue, they do not produce any karma at all. And bhaga also, bhaga is the resultant chittas which we experience when we are born in that world. And the punya is the wholesome jhana chittas that we cultivate wherever we are. So this, the punya, this is the one we can cultivate, and this bhaga is these jhana chittas we get when we are born. We will be born in the pertaining world. And then the kriya is the functional consciousnesses that is experienced by the three types of beings that I told, the Sammasambuddhas, Pacceka Buddhas, and the Arahants when they cultivate the jhanas. And then pancha dasada. Pancha is the 5, dasada is tens. So the 10 and 5 is 15 bhave. Bhave is the different varieties. The varieties or the 15 types. The three types, but the total is the 15. That's what it says. We don't see the meanings of the particles, which is not very important for us. So we will see the particles in one of the lectures, the Pāli particles in one of the lectures, for example, like tham, something, and etc. So this comes to the end of this lecture. So let's finish. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So let all beings, irrespective of any differences, equally get the share of all the good karmas that I have amassed through the innumerable existences that I have got from the beginning of my existence till the end of it, in the time frames of past, present, and future. And I request all the beings to please forgive me for any misdeeds that I might have done to them, and please relieve me of the karmic debts that I have with them. I also request the Buddhas, Pacceka Buddhas, and the Arahants to please forgive me for any misdeeds that I might have done in the past, present, and in the future too. And I request all the Buddhas, Pacceka Buddhas, and Arahants to please bless me to attain Nibbana as early as possible. And I also forgive all the beings, irrespective of any differences, and relieve them of any karmic debt they have with me. Let all beings be free. Thank you.